Hello, thank you for joining us on World of Art this week. My name is Miriam Usman. Every week we bring you art practitioners, and together we explore the advantages there are to visual art in our everyday lives. This program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, labor practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art. I'll be introducing our guests as well as our topic of conversation after this break. Do not forget that this is also in collaboration with Society of Nigerian Artists Ibn State Chapter. We'll bring you more of the conversation after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is still World of Art and OGTV. Today we are having a conversation with an art practitioner. If you like, you say an artist. He goes by the name Abisoye Ojosipe. Hi.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to have you with us today.
Fine, thank you.
So we are going to talk about you, your profession, and the focal point is to understand more of visual arts, the advantages of visual arts in our everyday society, which is one of the things you practice. But usually I like artists to walk us through their journey into art. What was yours like? For some people, they started off very prepared. They were aware that this is what they want to do. For some people, it was just something that happened along the way. What was your story like?
Okay, thank you. I was born an artist. I had the talent. I had the idea, and from early of my career, I always knew that I wanted to become an artist.
So when you say you were born into it, like when you were 2, when you were 5, when you were 10, who knew that?
My mom had a background in music, so I can say I took that from her. But mine is fine arts. From when I was 2 years old, I've been scribbling, I've been doing all sorts. You go to my textbooks when I became older, cut out pictures, always trying to create something out of nothing, very good with my hands. So I've always knew that I will become an artist. And because of that, even going to university, I had to change my school 2 times because I wanted to become an artist.
2 times?
2 times.
What happened? Why?
So art is being undervalued in secondary schools because they believe that every person should become either a medical doctor or an engineer. So most schools don't provide the resources,
facilities
for the children in senior secondary school to become an artist. So they just give them art in junior secondary school. Then when they come to the senior secondary school, they just crapped out. So I had to change school twice because I wanted to become an artist. And in the last school that I went to, before I was admitted, I made sure that they first employed an art teacher who would teach me art for my school sats.
That is such a journey. I can imagine the experiences for you having to leave one school to the other, because that's a strong definition of passion. For some people, that would have been the end. That would have been the end of the conversation for arts, and you just make a swift to something available, but you wanted it, and then you pushed it further. Now let's come to the tertiary institution aspect, where art is still being studied for 4 years.
Yeah.
For some people, they believe the study of art is in tertiary institution is more of theory than it is practical. And this is more of a practical profession where you have to do the work.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What's the situation of the study of art in tertiary institution? Which school did you finish from?
Yeah, so I attended Obafemi University. I can say it's one of the best schools that can study art in Nigeria. The good part of it is that university that I attended, it's 50-50, practical and theory. Then when you get to a point in your studies, it becomes fully practical. So I would say I attended a good art school, and the focus was trying to bring out the best in me and trying to mold us into that style and that personality that each and every one of us has. So I would say art is not just theory. It's good to know about the history of art. It's good to know about who started art, how art came into Nigeria, and how art came into be. But also, what you need as a practicing artist is a practical aspect. Though people can choose to become a curator, you can choose to become an art historian, but also there's also options to become with the practical aspect. Painters, sculptors, ceramics. I myself am a painter, and I play more from your university.
Interesting. So how many years has it been now from school and fully into practice of art?
It is over 10 years now, and I would say it has been a roller coaster. And all this while, I've been able to trying to get to a point in my practice. Art is continuous. Can't just say this is what you do today. You evolve over time. But recently, I've found out that I'm more interested in the human figure, especially the face, and how to capture the emotions and the thoughts and the desires of people through the human face. So that is what I'm doing now. So it has been coming from the general practice of art and painting, trying to get the landscapes done, and now I'm not trying to focus on an aspect of it, which is now portraiture.
Portraiture. I've been waiting for you to mention that mode of expression you have adopted, which is very beautiful. I've interviewed a couple of artists who have various means of expression. We had this person who one time named his form of expression from his name. He coined the name from his personal name, and it's so beautiful because art is that dynamic, it's that flexible. You can coin anything from it. But was there a point where you were in a dilemma of which mode of expression you should pick in the various form of art before you finally settled for what you use now?
Yeah, like I said earlier, is a process, and every process is determined by the physical and the present circumstance. So I would say I got here because of the present circumstance I am. I found out that many people go through a lot. People bottle chains up. People don't even know how to express themselves. Some people might be happy, but they don't know how to share their happiness. So different people have different things bottled up inside, and that has made me to be interested in to explore their emotions, explore what is going through their mind. There is a way I can capture this down. And when you say an artwork, the emotion that the person is going through, you need to kind of feel it and try to really feel what the person is feeling from the person's perspective. So I'm trying to see a way where where my work can be therapeutic for those feeling sad, so they'll know that it is not only them that is in this world. For those that are happy, that don't know how to share their happiness, So it's not so there'll be a way for them to connect, something to connect them to the world at large. So that's what I'm.
But great vision, great push for the embrace of art. How would you say that journey has been for the past 10 years or almost 10 years, you said? Yeah. And past 10 years, it's been a journey, a long time coming. Have you seen yourself achieving all of this purpose for you after how people are able to express themselves, and that you've been able to put in your work of art? But do you think it has also helped people, and how can you measure that? How can you show that people's life have been touched by your work?
People have viewed my work and have really felt a connection. Some feel, some because of that open up and speak what they're trying to bottle up, what is in them, and I can't share. So I would say I'm able to connect to some people. I'm able to be able to share my work with them. Some people are able to feel the essence of it and what I try to desire. And it has been good. It has been fulfilling, because when you have a work and you want the work to pass a purpose and the purpose is being met, there's this joy that comes in, and this satisfaction. So I would say so far it has been good. Though though you see some people and they'll tell you that, oh, what don't do someone's portrait in my house. But if you try to explain to them that is more than just a portrait, it is the story behind the portraits, and try to get them to understand, then they'll now start seeing it from the aspects and the angle you are trying to portray it.
All right, if you're just joining us, you're still watching World of Art right here on OGTV. And today we are exploring more of visual art, as we've been joined by one of Nigeria's finest artists, Abisoye Ojosipe. Now we will be looking at the challenges there could be. Now, if you're watching and you still do not understand the situation of art in Nigeria, now would be a good time to understand, as we are bringing you the conversation directly from artists themselves. And this is what we need in our society, to be able to understand ourselves in order to be better Nigerians and also make the Nigerian art outstanding out there. Now, we've been able to talk about your processes and how you become who you are today. But I know it's not a journey that is complete if there are no challenges. Some of those challenges shaped who you are today. It defined a lot of moments for you. And it is okay for us to talk about those challenges. Those watching can also learn from it and also ensure they do their own parts in putting the art we want out there. So let's talk about the challenges you've experienced from your days of being an art student. Although they say you learn every day, so you're still learning arts, yeah, but we're talking about, the early stage of your life, the stage before now, when you're practicing, the people, the society, the country. Let's talk about the challenges from a diverse perspective.
Okay, so starting from the early stage, the best part of the basic challenge in arts, I would say, is the resources. Just like I said earlier, that I had to change school 2 times. I feel that the early stage, arts in secondary schools is not taken serious. And it's so sad when you see parents are not aware that art is not just, I know how to draw. It's actually a life. People can make a living out of art. And it's not just a living. You can become very, very, very comfortable with that. And so in the early stage, there's this gap, there's this knowledge gap, where the society does not value art as a profession. And for the school days, it's the same challenges, trying to get your materials, trying to become who you are, because sometimes you have an idea inside you, but how to bring it out becomes challenging. When I was in art school, there'll be at times when I want to do something in where I feel inside, but I will not be allowed to. It was after I finished art school that I understood that those processes are to mold me, so able to know the fundamentals of what I'm doing. Then before I now say I want to break out. So in that aspect, if you're not under the right tutor, a person can't just be non-interested in that. Because I've seen some of my colleagues that dropped out of art school because they became not, and they became uninterested at a point when the pressure, because it is when you're trying to get something out, you keep eating at a point when you can't bear it again. Some could just drop out. But I would say if people can take a time, practice more, listen, open your mind to more knowledge, that will be able to achieve it. So for every stage and every aspect, there have been challenges. And as a full-time artist now, it has been challenging. There's the first challenge of trying to understand, how do I get the markets? How do I start my life out of what I'm doing? But like, there is a principle that I hold on to, that if you are disciplined in what you are doing, one day you would enjoy it, and that motivation is not just enough.
Do you think you've broken through the Nigerian art market?
I will not say that I've broken to the Nigerian arts market, because, like I said, the market is big, and people stereotype the market to one part. Maybe you have to be selling towards this side, but the market is big. the market, it might not be the way we feel. Yeah, oh, I'm selling this. Some people just work based on commissions. Some people just work with students. Some people just work with young people. So it depends. So it's not really a one-way thing. It's art is big, art is broad. And when people start understanding that there's no one way to art, and that's when people start appreciating how big and how important what they have is. So so I would say I'm still an artist in progress. I learn every day and hoping to gain.
That's so humbling to hear. All right. Some of your work are being scrolled on the screen right now, and amazing photos out there. But I know it's not something that comes off easy for you as well. It takes emotional part of you, takes your time, takes every part of you to get a piece done. So on an average, how long does it take for you to make a piece of work?
It depends on, like I said, rightly, the emotions. There's some work that you become too attached to, and just you don't just want to leave it. Those kind of work takes longer than usual to produce. There's not really a time frame for me to produce an artwork, but I would say it depends on what I want to do. So I can't just say there's a time frame for it.
If you have an exhibition or a client wants you to
Yeah,
make
so
something.
I can make a work for you impromptu, a week, 2 weeks, and if I want to work for a shoot, I can just take 6 months, 7 months of my time so that I will to have a good story to tell. Because one thing I try to do about my work is I try to tell stories. For every work I produce, there's a story behind it. So how to get my story as well, how to be able to pass what I want to pass, and how to make sure that the person sees it the way I want to see it. Sometimes it might take time how to first think about it. Because for me, my process does not start on the canvas. It starts from my mind. I'll first ask you to visualize what I want to do, think about what I want to do, what I want you to see from it, what I want to achieve with it. Or I'll first visualize it first. Before I produce on canvas, I'll know where I'm going to. So sometimes it can take 2 months, 3 months if I'm working on art for a personal piece or maybe an exhibition.
Huh. I'm trying to visualize what it's like for you. Imagine taking 2 months, 3 months to make one piece.
Yeah.
And then probably you have targets for the year, or there's need to make more. It must be a lot of work in between.
Yes, there's a lot of work, and that is where the molding from the art school comes in. You know, in the art school, you have deadlines. They might give you a work this week and said what next week. So it's those molding now is what you're going to use now to prepare yourself better. In the space of doing a work, you may also have time to do some other piece, have time to sketch, sightseeing, refresh your mind, just do stuffs and not just be I do for that 2 month and say, okay, I'm trying to produce this work. So it's how to manage the time in between is what makes it fulfilling. And at the end of the day, 2 months will be passed on the artwork. You won't know that 2 months has gone because you also have time to do all that stuff in between.
All right, as an artist who is finding his way around the Nigerian art, the economy, the responsibilities are there, every single thing are there, asking for payments, billing here and there. How are you able to juggle all of these finances? Do you solely depend on that work you do, or there are other things artists can do to help generate more money for them? Because it's not always an easy conversation when it comes to finance for artists, because the market, again, some people feel like, oh, Nigeria is not appreciating of art enough. You have to export your art before you make that huge money. Some people believe in Nigeria you can still make that money, but should artists right now rely solely on the painting they've done or whatever they've done that they want to?
Well, that's a very good question, and it's also a tricky one as well. It all depends on the person. When you asked me if I've broken through the market, when I said,
Yeah, still juggling.
yeah. So I personally, I do art. I do mostly arts. I do mainly arts, but there's other ways that you can sell arts. And through the help of social media, it has become easy. And how will I put it? So For me now, I have commissions that comes in, and commissions most times.
From your work or other person's work?
No, from my own work, as in commission paintings that
Yeah.
I do in between the pieces I do, to maybe to exhibit, or pieces that I just want to do for myself. So I do commission paintings, paint portraits of someone, sometimes paint murals in between, because social media will make you be exposed to all those kind of markets. So I do stuff around art. I do commissions. Sometimes I do designing. I design flyers. I design posters as part of what I do at the side. But I will basically say art has been the source, and it was very difficult in the beginning, because when you're still out of school, when you see your mates
To that pressure.
getting a job, 9 to 5 job, and you are just in the studio, sometimes who will tell you that, oh, you're just wasting your time. You can't break even. But if you keep on at it, difficult at first, but if you keep on at it, you will definitely break even.
Let's talk briefly before we wrap up on the conversation on the emotional point of being an artist. There's just something about artists that makes you believe they are loners. They most times like to be by themselves with their art, just them. In fact, they just don't, some don't want people around them. They feel people are like distracting. They just want them and, either nature or just them and their work. And so I feel like there's a part of them that is also being suppressed, which is like the social part of them. They are humans. They definitely have a social need, the need for community, networking, just social life in general. I want you to talk about it. Do you have a social life, or you are guilty of that aspect? Because I feel like artists needs to talk more about it. It could also help you even in your mental state to be stable to some extent.
Well, we are all guilty of it. And, like I was telling you that an actor can take 2 months at a time. It's the process. They're trying to visualize what is going through you. Only you can see it. That's the bad part. Nobody else can see it. And especially when you're trying to bring it out, and it's difficult to bring out. So that moment is consuming. And some of us like to just be away and lock off themselves so they can get what they are looking for. But I would say the new generation now has been good. It's been kind of a little better, because there have been more gatherings, more artist gatherings where they can, meet, interact, and share whatever they have. And it's also very important, like you said, that people should be able to speak about they're going through, any form of anxiety or depression, because some people do have this pressure of that work is not being appreciated. So because of that pressure, the next piece is going to consume them the more. So the last one I did, nobody liked it, nobody talked about it. So the next one is going to consume them. And your art, every artwork is like again a part of your soul out. So that pressure also is there. But it would be good if you could speak more, if you could share more, and make them understand that there's no bad art. There's no bad art. As any art is called bad, if you put it out there, you will see one person who will appreciate it. And there's only one person you actually need. You get
Anybody different. Okay. This is the length of the program today. While we're wrapping up, I just want you to say your final shout out to every artist out there, upcoming artists, the society, and also the sponsor of the program, as well as SNA, Ogun State chapter.
Yeah, shout out to each and every one of the sponsors, SNA, and the EMC Shillon, for making this program, aired. And thank you for everybody that puts up this program. And also, I would say for the young artists and the aspiring one, they should try your best to be diligent in what you're doing, stay focused, and don't lose hope. there is always lights at the end of the tunnel.
And that's where we wrap up on the program today, World of Art on OGTV. My name is Miriam Usman. On behalf of everybody on the crew today, we want to say thank you for watching the program. Don't forget this program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest art collector, brand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art. I'll see you next week, God's willing. Bye for now.